Okay. Sound like no. All right, keep going then. Today the next session we're going to talk about is critical path. It's called critical path analysis. So what it's going to look like in logistics. But first we need to understand what is a critical path in real life first. Real life. So, all right, this is like one of analogy of critical path to making breakfast. So if you want to eat breakfast, like look like the person here don't want to eat egg and then bread and then with some tea. So and then he's applied the critical path concept. All right, so first he need to create eggs. So he know egg will take a long time. We create the egg, just follow the sign here, follow the arrow sign. Pointer here, follow the arrow sign. He create the egg and wait for the egg like to be done to cook. All right, it will take a while. But instead of waiting the egg to be done and start doing something else, instead of waiting, he just like after he cracked the egg, he just put while he's waiting, he just like switch to another task, like slice the bread, and then put the bread in the toaster. Yeah, and then while waiting for the the egg, and he do another thing. He keep going. He fill up the kettle, like seal the water inside the kettle and boil it. Wait for it to boil. So like it will take a while for the water to boil, right? So after he fill the water and put the water in like the stove, heat it up, and then the bread is done. So you go to the bread again, take the bread out from the toaster, and then you put butter on. Butter like butter, put the butter on. After you put the butter on, maybe the water is boiled or it's already boiled, and you make a tea. After you make a tea, the egg is already done, so you go back to make the egg. So it's like multitask. Critical path is a multitask. Yeah, it's a multitask. And the dash line here, sometimes it happens. There's possibility that sometimes after you butter the bread, maybe your egg could be done, or the tea could be done after you make the meal and before you eat meal. So sometimes you want to eat first before you make the tea. It's also possible to show possibility, but it doesn't matter. The point here, the critical path, like you could start other project at the same time. And usually the project that take long, they start it first when it apply to a project, especially in logistics. For the uncritical path, something that is opposite to critical path, it's gonna be like, all right, you crack the egg, you wait for it to be done, and you need the egg to be done, and you move to something else. You start slice the bread, and wait for the bread to be toasted, and then you put butter on. All right, after you're done with the bread, you move to the water, and then you wait another 5 or 4 minutes for the water to be boiled, and then you make a tea. So if you do like one task at the same time, it will take very, very long. We don't want that. That's why we apply the critical path concept. Okay. Does everyone understand this? Do we have any question about the concept right now? Critical path. All right. You got it. Fine. Let's keep going. So critical path analysis, acronym is CPA. So critical path analysis allow a project manager to allocate to spread out resources, all resources available, and minimize the waste. So we want to efficiently allocate the resources that we have and minimize the waste. So that applies to everything. But in logistics, what are the critical resources that we have? So in logistics, it's timing. Time is the critical resources, and the order of implementation of tasks. Which one should we go first? So as here, we know that the egg will take a long time, so we should start it first. Or maybe some project D and F require predecessor. Predecessor is project A. So we want to start A first too, because if A could not start, D and F could not start either. So we want to start A first. So let's call the order implementation of task. And timing tells us when we should start. Timing. Critical resources and CPA helps saving many months in the duration of major project by managing them more efficiently. Okay. So let's I apply to when we construct a building from the start to construct a building. So you might assign one team to start constructing, like building the foundation and the building itself, right? And the other team might deal with the legal issue or keep ordering construction material for. So we have to do that too. And the other team might have to deal with the legal system, or maybe they have to recruit people, recruit the construction worker, engineer, or electrician, or whatever, to work on the building. And these three tasks is important, and it has to be done first, right? So it has to start at the same time. We don't want to waste time. And then project D and F, probably I could say D is like interior design, like decoration. So this decoration cannot be done unless the building has been completely constructed, right? Has been completely constructed. And F could be like installing internet, installing internet, network, or security camera. So this task cannot be done unless we finish A first. All right, everyone understand this part? All right. So this is like the predecessor concept, and the same thing here. Task G cannot be done unless you get D, you get B, and you get E. So E and D and B combine it together. You do it together before you finish task G, and then the end, like inauguration, something like that. That's the concept of critical path in logistics. Because some tasks require the predecessor, require the prior task to be completed. Okay. Questions? Stop me if you have questions. You don't stop me if I keep going. All right. So in real life, everyone has project, right? So this one, I just like bring example of constructing a building project. But in real life, everyone has project like getting married, buying a house, or moving to another town, or apply scholarship. It doesn't matter. Let's say you want to study abroad. Like you see other people done it before. You see the alumni, the other student who've been to study in the same school and they study abroad. So that project you want to study abroad and you want to get scholarship. So what kind of task that you need to prepare? Oh, maybe you have to study English more, and English will take time. So you want to start studying English like a year or 2 or 3 years ahead of time, right? And what you need to look at what is the school requirement. You need to look at that task. But at the same time, you also want to keep your grade high. Your grade at Paragon, you want to keep it high because it will help you in the future. And another task may be, all right, you want to have a good relationship with professor because professor are the one who will write recommendation to the school that you want to apply, something like that. So, yeah, some tasks that take a long time to finish, you have to start it first. All right, and a task like, all right, you want a good letter of recommendation. All right, before you want a good letter of recommendation, what kind of thing you need to know. You need to have a good grade, and you need to have a strong relationship with professor. be friendly with them, make friends with them, and you need to participate in class a lot because it make you stand out, and so it catch a professor interest, like make him impressed. And what else? Yeah, building a house is the same thing. To buy a house, you need to look at first. You need to save money. You need to have a good job, and when in the process of buying a house, you need to know a good real estate agent, so on and so forth. Okay. And maybe some of you guys want to have a family, and you need to, prepare. Maybe if you have a family, you have to learn how to take care of the baby, learn how to take care of the family, or you learn how to cook. That's all part of the project too. Okay, that's the project in real life. Or maybe some of you guys like me, I also want, when I was at Paragon, Zaman at that time, I want to study abroad, but the school that I want to go is a military school. But military school also do academic is so hard. So it's not only to prepare physical readiness, take a test all the time. So I need to prepare for SAT, need to prepare TOEFL, need to prepare like a letter of recommendation from my high school, a teacher. Yeah, need to get all the record. I need to do like extracurricular activity. That is the school requirement. So that's really hard. So I need to prepare a lot of them at the same time. Yeah. Coming back to our logistic mentality. So those kind of projects include, to say the example from the book, let's say like replanning the distribution center, distribution network, or you want to maybe to audit the inventory system to make sure it's accurate, to minimize the loss. And you want to, another project, maybe you predict that 30%, you want to a 30% reduction in inventory on the next 2 years or on the next year, because during pandemic, the economy will take time to recover. So you don't want to order a lot of stuff. So the consumption is going down. So you want to do that. It's kind of project, and you need to know what you should start first. All right, another one may be buying a major piece of new equipment, like construction, especially construction company that require a heavy vehicle, a heavyweight vehicle that is expensive, and they need to prepare what are the things that they need to prepare to buy the vehicle. They're usually expensive. They need to prepare like financial analysis. They need to prepare like whether they should buy it or they should rent it from other company. So you're setting up a supplier conference, so you meet with your supplier or you meet with your customer. You need to prepare, you need to schedule someone to send an invitation. You need someone, other people to book a place. Yeah, something like that. So all of this can be managed well using the project management method, critical path. It saves a lot of time. So the 5 stages of critical path analysis, CPA. The first one, we need to identify all activity that we must be carried out. List out, let's say we construct the building, what kind of task that you need. So we need a team that dealing with ordering construction material from abroad, right? You need a team to go buy the sand, to go buy rock from the sand depot or somewhere else. And that's the kind of activity that we need. Another task, you might need a team that deal with the legal process, asking the permit from the government. Another team require, like, you might need another team to construct the foundation for the building, to start off the foundation. Yeah, something like that. So you identify all the project that you need, and also project like the the activity that also include like installing internet, installing security camera. So those tasks you also include in the list. But those tasks require predecessor. So you mark it as something else. It will be done later on, not now. And then the second step, you estimate the most likely time required to carry out each task. You know how long it will take to finish one task. Because like you are in your industry, like construction company, they know for sure like how many months it will take to lay off the foundation, how many months it will take to construct the building, or how long it will take for the products or the construction material that the order brought to arrive in Cambodia. They know for sure, so they could identify it. It's like when you make breakfast, you cook egg. You know, like how long the egg going to be done, like maybe 5, 10 minutes, 15. You know for sure. So you identify the time, and you use this time to calculate the overall duration of the project. So the time of each task. So just want to point out a little bit. Task is like many things, like many different tasks. But the project is the whole thing. So in a project, it has different tasks. Here, the project is the whole thing, right? The task is like the element of the project. So you know the time it takes for each task to be completed. So you could calculate the overall duration of the project. And you capture the latest time at which each activity could start. Because let's say the deadline in the building has to be done in, let's say, June, July, August, September. It has to be done in September, right? And it will take 2 months for the internet company to install security camera and network router, everything inside the building. So the latest date that you could start the internet project, it has to be 2 months before the deadline. So the deadline in the building is September, so it has to be the latest time that the internet could start the project is in July. So in July 1st, you need to make sure the internet people start their project, or it has to be before July 1st. But the latest date they could start is July 1st. You know, it takes 2 months. So after calculations in step 3 and 4, the critical path now can be identified. So here, usually we give it a code, we call activity code to do each task. So here, this is an example that we are going to set up a project network for preparation phase of a project to improve inventory accuracy. You know, inventory accuracy, right? You need to recount everything. You need to make sure like how many product lost, what is the excess inventory, what is the inventory shortage, or whatever you want to do. Inventory, what that's called inventory accuracy. So you list down the tasks that you need to do. So obtain last year count result. Last year count results or the result from last year. One of the tasks that you need to know, and you obtain all process chart. And for each activity, you give them a code A, B, C. And then you have to know the duration that it will take to complete the task. So obtain the last year count result. So you need to go back to the file from last year, and it will take 2 days to finish it, to complete this task. It will take 2 days. And obtain all the process chart. So the process chart, you make a chart, histogram, or whatever. So it will take 6 days to make. 6 days to make it, and you give them a code B, and you get system access for all team. So you want everyone, the team member, to have access to the system, access to the chart, to what you are doing right now. Or maybe you create a Google Drive and share to everyone. Something like that. And it will take like 3 days to finish it. And predecessor, we don't have predecessor. Why? Because you have to start off with this project. This project has to start off something. You don't require other project to be completed. But when you come to the next task, you classify the main sources of deviation. Deviation, it might be something kind of like deviate from. So deviation here, they focus on something like the loss in counting. Maybe you expect 100, so you order 100 and then you sell. In your record, you see only 98 that has been sold, so you lost 2. Or maybe you see 90 that has been sold and you see only 8 that's still in your inventory right now, so you lost 2. So this kind of product deviation, inventory deviation, and you give it a code D. So in order to find the loss and how many products did you lost, first you need to count it first. You need to count and you need to obtain the last year count result. So that's why it had predecessor here, predecessor A. So it means task activity D has to be done after A, right? And it will take 4 days to classify the main source of deviation. So you want to know why we lost, why the product loss is not accountable, whether it's the security system or whether it's like the product doing bad or like the damage that someone caused in the company. So it will take 4 days to identify those tasks, right? And you need, and then the next activity is like team carry out a self-evaluation of main evaluation of ability to use the main process. So the team requires some time to carry out the processor. So we give them a code E to this task, and when before they be able to carry out the process, the main process, it requires task C. You get the system access to all team. You need task C to be done first before you finish task E, right? And then it will take 5 days to do it. Okay. And you set a target for accuracy improvement, task S, F, and then predecessor is A, same thing here. And you create an overall plan for improvement, task G, like the project here, it's showing up. And task G should be completed after B, D, and E. Yeah, after task B, D, and E finish. And to finish task G, activity G, it requires 8 days to do it. Now, this is how we do critical path analysis in one logistics system. And then this is how the chat works, the diagram, how the diagram works. So first, task A, B, C, D have to be start off at the same time. And task D and F back here. D and F require A, predecessor A. So it's like, so from A, you make another, it's go to D and it go to F, right? And then task G require B, D, E. It's like task G here, so it require B and D and E, or also E. Task E requires C, so after C here, you go to D and then go to B, go to G. The same thing here. And task F is, task F, let's set a target for accuracy improvement. That's why it requires only A as predecessor, but it's part of the end, the end project, the end result. So that's why task S is here, and the end result. It's like you installing the internet. So before you conduct inauguration to like your brand new building, your internet has to be done, right? So you could show off to your guests, like all notable guests, done, and then it's the ending of the project. Yeah. Do you have any questions at this point? Question, feedback? No? All right. You guys have a good brain. Smart. All right, keep going. So this is with critical path analysis, we know how much time we save. If we just do in not a critical pathway. You just want to finish the task, finish A, and finish B, finish C, and you go to D, you go to E, you go to F, you go to G. You want to do the project one by one. It will take 29 days to do it. So you will sum all of this, and it could be 29 days to do it. But with the CPA method, some project A, B, C, you start at the same time, and D, E, F, you need a predecessor, you need A and C to be done first. With this method, you need only 16 days to finish the project. So how much you save? 13, almost 50%. You save a lot of time. When you save a lot of time, you also save money, right? Because time is money. You know that. Because when it takes less time, you don't have to hire more people. You don't have to hire people to keep working for the project. So you save a lot of time to finish this. Okay, and how do we get 16 then? So here we look at this thing we call earliest finish. So for activity A, it requires two days to finish it. So and there is no predecessor, so we take 2 days to finish it. Actually, the earliest finish is still 2 days. All right. Activity B, task B, requires 6 days. There's no predecessor, so the earliest finish is in 6 days, day number 6, from the start of the project. Same thing to task C. You will finish it in day 3 of the project. All right, now we go to activity D that have predecessor as A. Predecessor is A, so A, it will take how many days? 2 days, right? So task D require 4 days to finish, but predecessor require 2 days. So the earliest finish date of task D is has to be on day 6. You understand what I mean here? So because we spend 2 days to do activity A, 2 days to do it, and another four days to do activity D. So in total, as a result, it will take 6 days to finish task, task D. So the earliest finish date for task D is day number 6. C, the same thing, because it requires 5 days to do the task, and E requires 5 days to do the task, and the predecessor is task C, and C requires 3 days. So 3 plus 5 is 8. So you could finish task E in 8 days. Task F, it's only day 3. You could finish task F in day number 3. And task G, because it have a lot of predecessor like B, D, and E. So and it will take 8 days to do it. So 8 and plus 8, you know what 8 come from? So task B, it require 6 days to finish, right? And task D, you could finish it in day number 6, right? But unfortunately, task E, you still have to finish it in day number 8. So finish it in day number 8. So 8 plus 8, the duration of task G, it equals 16. So in day 16, you will finish all projects. Questions? I know some of you guys may ask question, what does the 8 come from? Because task G, it has B, D, and E as predecessor. B, D, and E. So for B and D, you could finish it in day number 6. So it's done. But for E, you have to wait until day number 8. All right, so you have to wait until day number 8 for task E to finish. And so at day number 8, when task E finish, the same thing for B and D, they already finished 2 days ago, day 6. And then you could start activity G. You start activity G, and G will take 8 days to finish it too. So 8 plus 8 is equals 16. So 16 days. Clear? Question? No? Oh, this is for the analysis for next class. Yeah. All right. If you don't have any question, I think class should be dismissed right now, and I will stop recording. I need to meet with the last team. Okay, with Marine team. Okay. Class dismissed, and don't forget to prepare for the quiz. The quiz should include everything that we studied today and from last week. Last week is NDA, non-disclosure agreement, and like outsourcing in logistic to my memory. Okay. So yeah, prepare for the quiz, and it's gonna be on Friday. All right. If you don't have any question, class dismissed right now. And yeah.
No, sir. How about when you said that we first you asked us to move the class to 6, and then we said no, and you said maybe on Tuesday.
We keep the same thing. Yeah, we keep the same thing. So Friday.
So on Friday. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Got it.
Yeah. I mean, like, if everyone could not make it, we're going to keep the same thing, and I have to break up at 3 a.m. again. Yeah,
okay. But sir, how about the platform? We still do it on Classroom System or Google Form?
I want to do it on Google. What do you guys think? Google Survey? I never done.
I think Classroom works so fast.
You like Classroom better? Like our Classroom system, like the one that we do right now?
Maybe, sir. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I have had one professor. He have done the midterm through the Google survey and can check our score after that. So maybe I don't know. Should try.
I think we should try Google survey. So because I know the system has a lot of problem recently, and it's not a bad thing to start new thing, right? We could learn like different platforms. Yeah, and I hope Google is it's an international company, like to make a lot of money. So the system has to be perfect. So I give credibility to Google, but at the same time, I also give credibility to our system. But still, it kind of like create a lot of headache for student, for professor. So yeah. But we will keep option. But let me try this Friday. Try the question on Google survey, and we'll see how it works. If it's friendly, convenient, user friendly, we'll keep Google survey. If not, we'll have to switch back to the Classroom system. Okay, class dismissed right now, and I have to meet Maureen team. All right, everyone, have a good day. Have a good night.